What's going on, guys? FadeitLuie here, bringing guys a brand new video. We're going to be doing a mid-taper on one of my clients, so stay tuned. We're going to be starting off by creating our first guideline with our T outliners. Remember to make sure you're contouring this guideline to their head shape. Now that we're done creating our first guideline and bottoming them out, we can move on to our no guard all the way open and create our second guideline. You want to make sure this guideline is as thick as an inch so you can spread the blend. Using the lever all the way closed and midway will help you erase that initial guideline. Always make sure to stretch the skin with your opposite hand to make sure you have enough room to blend. Now that we're done erasing our initial guideline, we can move on to the one guard all the way open and create our third guideline. Once we're done softening up the line with the one guard, we can move on to the half guard and erase the line completely. Now we're switching over to the half guard and we're using its corners to erase the line completely. I hope you guys are enjoying the video. Please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. It's greatly appreciated. Thank you. Now that we're done with our lower guards, we can move on to the two guard all the way open and create our fourth guideline. Remember, we're using the same guard and its lever to soften up the line and get it ready for the 1.5 guard. Now that we're done softening up the line with the 2 guard, we can move on to the 1.5 guard and erase the line completely. Sometimes there's still a faint line after using the 1.5 guard, so switching over to your 1 guard all the way open will help. Now we're moving on to the 3 guard all the way open and we're flicking out as much as we can while feeding the hair into the clipper with the comb. Now we're using our clipper over comb method and we're tilting it at a 45-degree angle and we're going horizontally debulking. It's also slightly easier to pick up the hair when the hair is wet. Moving on to the side taper, we're using our T outliners to make our first guideline. Now that we're done balding them out, we can move on to our no guard all the way open and create our second guideline. Remember, we're going to use the lever to erase this initial guideline, closing it all the way and midway. Now we're using the one guard all the way open, creating our third guideline. Now that we're done softening up the line with the one guard, we can move on to the half guard and erase the line completely. Now we're switching over to the two guard all the way open, and we're using the comb to feed the hair into the clipper. Now that we're done creating and softening the fourth guideline, we can move on to the 1.5 guard and erase the line completely. Now I'm moving on to the 3 guard all the way open, and we're using the same method we did with our 2 guard. Switching over to our clipper over comb method, we're going to tilt the comb at a certain degree and use our vertical blends. Here I'm starting to debulk with the 3 guard all the way open, and I am going near the neck area. Moving on to the neckline, we're going to start off at the bottom and work our way to the top arch. Now we're moving on to the C cup, and we're starting off at the bottom and working our way to the top arch. Remember to make sure you're going slow and making sure the hair feeds into the trimmer. After you're done lining up, you always want to go back and detail the tapers or fade. Before we use our foil shaver and remove all the stubble, we use a little bit of shave stick. This is so your client doesn't bump up. Now we're moving on to the top, and we're starting off by saturating the hair and making sure everything's combed in place. We're going to be starting off by making our first guideline through the middle and connecting it to the sides. Here we're doing the same thing as we did at the top. We're picking up the hair with the comb and connecting it to the sides. Again, I hope you guys are enjoying the video. Please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. It's greatly appreciated. Moving on to our Turkish razor and Derby premium blades, we're going to make them as crispy as possible, and we're also going to be doing his eyebrows. When messing with the razor, you want to make sure you pull on the skin and you keep the razor at a 45-degree angle. Also make sure you use Save Gel. You also want to be very careful when near the eyebrow area. Make sure you're very soft and light with the blade. What's going on, guys? FadeitLuie here, bringing guys a brand new video. We're going to be doing a high fade on one of my clients, so stay tuned. We started off by creating our first guideline with our Go to FX and contouring to his head shape. You also want to make sure you're stretching the skin with your opposite hand when balding out. Now that we're done balding him out, we can move on to our no guard all the way open and create our second guideline. You also want to make sure this is about 1 inch so you can spread the blend. Using your lever all the way closed the midway will help you erase that initial guideline. Now that we're done erasing our initial guideline, we can move on to the 1 guard all the way open and create our third guideline. With this same guard, you're going to use the lever to soften up the line and get it ready for the half guard. Now that the line is soft enough, we can move on to our half guard and erase the line completely. Remember to use your opposite hand to stretch the skin to give you more space when blending. I hope you guys are enjoying the video. Please leave a like, comment, and subscribe is greatly appreciated. Thank you. Now that we're done with our lower guards, we can move on to the top and debulk with the 4 guard all the way closed. Now that we're done debulking the top, we can move on to our 2 guard all the way open and create our 4th guideline. Remember, we're going to soften up the line with the lever, using the same guard. Now that we're done softening up the line, we could go ahead and switch over to our 1.5 guard and erase the line completely. Sometimes after using this guard, there's still a little bit of a faint line, so switching over to your 1 guard all the way open and using its corners will help. Now I'm switching over to my clip roll comb method and we're vertically blending and horizontally debulking. Remember to grab the hair with the comb and tilt it at a certain degree, whichever is needed. Now we're moving on to the 3 guard all the way open, and this is going to help us blend into the 4 guard on top. Now I'm going back to my previous guards and I'm detailing as much as I can. Now that we're done with the sides, we can move on to the back. We're starting off by botting them out with our Goat FX and then switching over to our no guard all the way open, creating our second guideline. Remember to use the lever midway and all the way closed to help you erase that initial guideline. And also use your opposite hand to stretch the skin to give you more space to spread the blend. Now that we're done erasing our initial guideline, we can move on to the one guard all the way open and create our third guideline. We are nearing the occipital bone, so you want to make sure you spend more time near this area. Usually the hair is more dense and thicker in this area. Once we're done softening up the line with the one guard, we can move on to the half guard and erase the line completely. Now we're using the two guard all the way open to create our fourth guideline and help us blend into the four on top. Remember, you're using the lever to soften up this line and get it ready for the 1.5 guard. Now that we're done using the 1.5 guard, we can move on to our 3 guard all the way open and blend into the 4. Remember to flick out as much as possible and make it as even as you can. Here I'm using the clip roll comb method to make the blend as smooth as possible. Before we start lining him up, we're going to debulk his hairline with the clip roll comb method. There are some very dark areas in his hairline, so I'm just lining them up. Now that we're done debulking the hairline, we can move on to our GTX and make him as crispy as possible. I always like to start off in the middle and work my way to the sides. Now we're moving on to his beard and we're chopping it down with the one guard all the way closed. Moving on to the sideburns, I always start off with my no guard all the way open, and I work my way down with my half guard. Moving on to his neckline, he likes it very boxy, so we're starting off at the edge and working our way to the middle. Now that we're done lining up his beard, we can move on to the hairline and prepare our Turkish razor with our Derby Premium blades. You always want to make sure you stretch the skin as much as possible, and also keep your blade at a 45-degree angle so you don't cut your client. We're also going to be doing his eyebrows. Again, I hope you guys are enjoying the video. Please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. It's greatly appreciated. Also, if you leave a comment down below, I will reply to it, so don't be afraid. You also want to make sure you go against the grain in the cheek area just so the beard line can pop out.